Hello friends, Coach Bob with you this morning, and yes, it is sunny Tallahassee, but it's cold this morning. It's in the 20s. And that's not what most people think of when they think of Tallahassee, Florida, that's for sure. But we do have our times where it is cold. You know, Hambone, the old Ram truck, he's looking kind of chilly this morning. Coach Vic's van even looks like it might have a little frostbite. So this morning, Pearson got up with me. I was kind of surprised. She normally doesn't like to walk around in the frosty grass, but she's out doing it this morning with me. So why would I be out on a cold morning like this, just hanging out talking to you? For those of you who are new to the channel, well, this might be something that's strange for you, but those who have been here a while, they already know what's going on. Today is an event that I do every year on the first frost, regardless of when it happens. You know, this is the earliest it's happened since we've started this channel. Normally it's late December or early January before we have a frosty morning like this. But today, it's early. So we are going to do the most important ride of our lives. It's a tradition that I've been doing for many, many years, and I'm grateful that you're going to go along with me this morning. So I'm going to wear an old Joe Rocket jacket, I'm going to wear an older helmet, I'm going to wear an older pair of gloves, and it is going to be a great ride. All right, so join me for this beautiful tradition, because traditions are important. Well, welcome to the most important ride of your life, 2025. You know, I'm going to tell you that this is a ride that I've kind of been dreading. And no, not because of the cold. It'll make more sense as the video opens up and, you know, I share my thoughts and feelings with you. But this is a ride that I know will be an emotional ride today. Probably the most emotional of all of the ones that I've ever done. This has been a hard year. We're going to talk about that right now. So why? Why do the first frost ride every year? What would possess me to get out no matter what, no matter how I feel, no matter how tired I am, or even if I want to go or not, and why would I do such a silly thing? I'm going to tell you I have this theory in my life, and me and a friend of mine, I'm sure it's not ours, but it feels like ours because we've talked about it for so many, many years, and this is the philosophy of posts. Imagine you're going through your life, because guess what? You are. You go through your life, and every time you have a success in your life, you take a post and you put it in the ground. So here's an example. You get married to the woman of your dreams, and you feel your life is complete, and it's like, man, life is so good. You take out a post, a big long one, a 12-footer, and you put 9 feet of it in the ground, and you leave 3 feet sticking up. It's just enough. It's solid. It's a foundation. And you know, man, that represents the day I got married. The next thing could be the beginning of your career, where you get successful, the birth of a child, the purchase of your first home, all of those moments, all of those snapshots throughout your life where you were a success by your standard. And it felt good, and the sun seemed a little brighter, and the air a little more crisp and clear. Everything was better. Put those posts in the ground, because one day in your life, calamity is going to fall. It falls in all of our lives, and the wind is going to howl, and it's going to be powerful, and you're going to be down, and you're going to be broken, and the wind's going to slam against you and knock you to the ground and start blowing you backwards, and you're free falling, and you're going, what in the world is going on? I'm nobody. I'm a failure. And you start to reach out, and you're trying to grab a hold of anything, but you can't find anything. And then all of a sudden, you hit the first post. It slows you down. You reach out, you try to grab it, but you can't. The third one slows you down a little more. The fourth, your hands almost have it. And by the time you hit the fifth, you grab that post and you hang on for dear life. And you look at it and you go, right here, I had it together. Well, today, this ride is a post. This is a post that I'm sticking in the ground for 2025. You need to have a post every year. You know, even if you don't have a post, you have to create a post. And this ride is that very thing. Whether you feel successful or not, sometimes you just have to wake up and smell the coffee and remind yourself that life is pretty darn good. All right, so there's the philosophy, and that's why I do it, and it has to be done on the first frost every single year. Doesn't matter if I feel like it. Doesn't matter how long the frost sits, because I'm going to show you something. Here's a little secret. There's this big giant ball of fire in the sky, and I'm going to tell you, it's going to melt that frost off faster than you can say whippersnap. All right, so reason number one, the first reason that I do the first frost ride every year is this: just to get out and to experience God's playground, this world. Now, all of you know I'm a man of faith, so that really shouldn't surprise any of us, right, that I would feel that way. But I'm going to tell you that so many times we look at this world as just a source of issues, a source of problems. Life is hard, it's crazy, it's chaotic, and while all of those things may be true, this world God put here for us to enjoy. Enjoy it. Don't forget that. You know, so many times we get caught up in the mundane and the silliness, and we lock ourselves away. I do it. I sit in the dark room, I sit in the chair, and I get to where I'm feeling down, and I beat myself up just like you do. But we have to get out and remind ourselves that this big playground was created for us, and we should go out like children and play in it. Don't forget that. Get on a motorcycle. If it's too cold or if there's too much ice on the road, I don't know what you wear, put on some snowshoes and go outside and experience life's vigor. Go out and enjoy the playground. All right, so reason number two I come out and do this is to experience the change of season. So the change of season, you know, I know today is not the first day of winter. I understand that, you know. I can read a calendar. I can look at an almanac. The idea is to experience a change of season, not as written by some guy 100 years ago, 1,000 years ago, 5,000 years ago. I don't know when it was written. I don't know when all that happened, but to experience the season by something that actually physically occurs in your world, not by some insignificant word on a page written by some dude that you never met. Get out and experience the change of season. You know, the first frost is a really important thing. It represents so much in the passing of time in our lives. It is the next season. It's a time of reflection. It's a time of family gatherings. It's a time of closeness. It's a time of warmth by a fire, of nice coffee to hang out with the people that you love while the wind blows just a little harder. So number two is to experience the change of season. I had to stop there for a moment. My camera shut down on me. I guess the cold got to it. Well, the next reason that we do this is to simply remember the things of this year. You know, not the good things or the bad things, just the things, markers. You know, as I look over the year, I think about my children, obviously. My oldest, my son, he's doing well in his career. His beautiful wife, she works so hard with the children. They have 2 sons, and they're wonderful. I love my grandboys. They're awesome. They're beautiful. And to see them work hard and succeed, you know, they bought a new car this year. Life's moving on for them, and it's good. I think about my youngest daughter. Her and her husband and my beautiful granddaughter moved up into Georgia this year. And while that's kind of sad in the sense that they're not here, but they're doing so well. He's teaching up there and he loves it. The people are kind. The pace is slower. It's beautiful. I think about Coach Vic and how she's grown so much this year. You know, I've seen a lot of change in her. She really does want to please me. You know, life is hard and it's been a tough year. She has just hung in there. She takes care of everyone. She expects very little in return. She loves the children. She thrives for the grandchildren. It really is beautiful to see her smile and laugh. You know, her nickname is Vivi. You can spell that V-I-V-I. And if you want to write down in the comment, "We love you, Vivi," I guarantee you it would mean the world to her. You know, I think of my son-in-law, of my deceased daughter. He's working so hard. He feels so lonely. It's been a tough year for him. You know, he lost the love of his life. He works all the time. He decided to get a second job because he told me, Dad, I'm just falling apart here. I don't know what to do. I need to stay busy. And so he got a second job. He's working on the weekends. He's enjoying it. He's wanting to be around people. He's found that sitting around alone is not a good thing. I got to meet so many of you. All of you are so wonderful to me. You treat me with such kindness and gentleness. You know, around the death of my daughter in February, everyone was so beautiful. I can't thank you enough for that. Obviously, the life-changing event of the passing of my daughter, all of the things surrounding that, a very tough time, the closeness of friends, the clinging of family, Pearson breaking both of her legs this year. That's my dog, for those who don't know. But Pearson breaking both of her front legs, you know, all of that. Going to Wisconsin and seeing my son-in-law's culture, a powwow, something a little South Georgia boy could never have dreamed of. So many things. Well, the next one is the one that I always look forward to the most, but I'm going to tell you that today brings a bit of a sting. But we're going to get through it because it's a tradition, and that is to remember those who are no longer with us. You know, if I back up my mind through time, I think of many, many people when I think of this. Obviously, the ones that are the freshest are the ones that come to mind immediately. But I don't want to forget those others because they mattered. Wow, did you see that? A deer just came jetting across the road up there. Oh, my grandmother, her name was Patricia. We called her Pat, Granny Pat, man, and she was awesome. She was in Atlanta, and everything was beautiful to her. She was the sweetest, most angelic person. Her skin was thin like wax paper. It was just, had such a great demeanor, always laughing, the first one up, the last one down, always finishing every meal with, "Do you want a piece of pie?" Man, she was just a beautiful person. I think of my first wife. She loved the winter time. You know, she was amazing. She died at the age of 35, and it was a very hard time, a very dark time. That was Baba's mom, and she was so sweet. She loved Burberry. She loved scarves. She loved little thick wool socks on her feet. When she walked in the room, she just lit it up with a smile. She loved to put her hand on you. You know, that type, not the type that are intrusive or mean. She would just take her hand and put it on your shoulder, and the vibration, the electricity that came through her hand said, "I'm special." She did that. Wow, that just takes my breath away. Look at that. It never gets old. My mother and my father, they were so amazing. They raised me. They loved me. I grew up in a home where I can tell you my parents were married a long, long time, over 6 decades, and I will say I never, not one time, heard either one of them raise their voice at the other. Just amazing. My brother, whom I loved, he was a motorcycle guy, a Harley guy, a roughneck. He drove trucks and wore flannel. We were just on the opposite ends of the spectrum. So different, so vastly different. He was good looking, dark hair, olive complexion. He built choppers in our driveway when I was a boy. And you may not be able to tell, but he was my hero when I was a kid. He was fast, he could run, he was a natural athlete. Taken away at 49 from a massive heart attack. And then, of course, the last one. This is the one that I've been kind of holding off on, y'all, because I'm going to do my best not to get emotional. So if you see a break in the camera, that means I had to stop them. I'm hoping I don't have to, though. And that is my sweet Baba. So young, so beautiful, so special to me. The way her eyes lit up a room, always loving me. She was 28 when she died of cancer. Not one time, y'all, not one time in 28 years did she ever talk back to me. She always had the utmost respect and love for me, way more than I deserved. She always controlled her emotions. I guarantee you there were many times she thought I was wrong as a dad, and I was making her behave or telling her she did something was wrong, but she never talked back. And she always loved me and honored me. You know, the Bible says to honor your father and your mother. And she sure did that. She did that better than anyone I've ever met. How many people can say that? Not many. I'll tell you right now, I had never even thought of that until I was on this ride. But I cannot recall a single time that she was ugly to me. You know, I always worried as she got older I would hurt her feelings. I would say something that would be wrong or would sound mean. She was sensitive. She always tried to appear tough, but she was sensitive. You know, she had a high-functioning autism, and she would tell me, "Dad, people think I'm dumb." And so a lot of times I just don't talk because I don't want people to laugh at me. But once she let you in, she could be loud and laugh and silly. She loved to dance around the living room. She loved music. She loved life. And the last year of her life was so hard to watch. And the last week was torment. But Baba is one of those sweet things in my life that I will savor until the day I leave this earth. And I'm going to tell you, she is worth every moment of pain, every moment of every tear. She is so beautiful, and I miss her dearly. I'm going to tell you, as I ride down this freezing road and my hands are hurting, I have no idea what I just said about Baba, but I do know this. Nothing that I said is good enough. All right, I'll leave that one there. Well, the next thing, why do I do this ride? Just to think. Just to think, to ponder the meanings of life, to ponder the experiences, the whys, the solutions, the problems with no solutions. Just to think. It doesn't have to be deep. It doesn't have to be introspective. It can be anything. But to just in solitude, to think. Let your mind wander back to when you were a child and you got to just be a kid. You know, today on this ride, I'm not Coach Bob the man. I'm the boy. I'm the boy who is on a motorcycle and I'm riding down the road and the world is huge like it used to be and the possibilities endless. And the sound that I hear is not the engine or the wind. It's the beating of my heart. And the very last reason, but I've got to share a little story first that will make this clear, and this is when all of this began. My first wife died in '99, and I was working for the FAA, and I would go to work on my Harley. I would have no helmet on because I was young and crazy then. And I would ride in, it would be 19 degrees, and I would ride in a leather jacket and jeans. I'd put on my khakis when I got to work and do my thing. But I would walk into the dadgum hallway where we all signed in, and my employees would look at me and go, "You have lost your mind. Are you kidding me? It is freezing cold out there. I know you have a nice car. Why do you do this to yourself, man? It is freezing cold out there." I was hurting walking from the car to the tower. And I would look at them and I would say this. You see this red on my face, the sting, the burning, the aching in my fingertips, all of the nerves firing going, this is insane. And my brain would say one thing. All of those indicators tell me something that's very important. And that thing is, Bob, you are alive. You are alive. The pain in your face, the slap of the wind, the feeling of the bitterness, it reminds me that I am in the world of the living. And no matter what happens, whether it's the death of a spouse, the death of a child, the changing of the world for you, yes, you're alive. I am alive, and we need to remember that. So many times we forget that we're in the world of the living. We have to go out and reach out and take it, because if we don't, the world will tear you to pieces. Don't let the roaring lion tear you to pieces. He will devour you. You take this world. You don't let the world tell you you're not living. You are living. Go out and grab it. Take it. Taste it. Live it. Feel the pain, feel the beauty, feel all of it, experience it all. Life was not made to be existed, it was made to be lived, and that's the only way we're going to be able to do it, is by getting out and experiencing things, moving into the world of discomfort. And that is the main reason I do this ride every single year on the first frost. I want to hurt, I want my hands to burn, I want my face to ache and my knees to ache. It's important to remind me that I am alive. Yeah, I know I went off on a little preaching there for a minute. I'm sorry. I get excited on that one, y'all. You see, this ride, you have the range of emotions. It's everything. This ride is everything. And I do this every year, and you need to have traditions in your life that you do that remind you that you're alive. Remember the simplicity. Remember the beauty in your life. Remember that heart, when you hear it beat, and it gets louder and louder and louder as you start to believe more and more in yourself, and you start to do more than just exist, and the spark becomes a flame, and all of a sudden the sound of your heart is no longer just the sound of your heart. It's a lion's roar, and you're ready to seize your life, and that is what you need to do. All right, I'm going to shut up and let a little music play right here as I ride, and then we'll close out. And don't forget that one of the things that's important in my life is you. All right, well, there you have it. This year, this ride is in the books. So you do me a favor. You go out, buy the motorcycle of your dreams, eat right, take care of yourself, and remember, if you're not having fun, you are most definitely doing it wrong. Now you go seize the day, and I'll see you on the road real soon. I'm going to make a few more miles here.